And then you also have to send me the link to join, okay?
I got you. I'm on it. I'm on it. It's just it's a little. I don't know why it's moving so slow.
I don't know.
All right, so this hangout is live. There we go. God damn.
Let me know. Am I in?
You are in. It's all yours.
Oh, okay. All righty. Can they hear me? Make sure I'm off of mute.
Okay.
Mic check, mic check. Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Loud and
Phone in.
Okay, okay, so let me hang up the phone. Hey, welcome, welcome everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are. Welcome to the Double Your Revenue broadcast, Double Your Revenue through social media event. Once again, I'm Taria Hodge, owner of Mayaba Consulting Services, but many of you may probably know me as the lead trainer of the Peak Performers Institute. And so today, I'm here to talk to you about the question, the most popular question: how do you make money or how do you generate revenue from social media? But before we get started today, I just want to take a quick look and give a special shout out to all of you who have hung in with me this morning. I apologize having a little bit of technical difficulties. As you can see, I'm broadcasting from a different location. So, sometimes these things are, kind of unexpected. So before we get started, I'd just like to say welcome, a couple of shout outs and welcome. First of all, I would like to thank Dekeisha Williams for hanging in there and assisting me this morning. I also see that I have Joanne Meekins. Thank you, Joanne, for joining us on this broadcast. I know it's Saturday morning, so I thank everyone for being patient and hanging in there. I also see that we have Elisa Green out there this morning. Good morning. Welcome, Elisa. Welcome to the Double Your Revenue through social media event. Let me see who else we have out there. Okay, alrighty. And so I just want to encourage you this morning as we go through this broadcast. This will be an interactive broadcast. So if you have questions or if you have comments, please feel free to post your questions in your comments in our private Facebook group. So if you look below the video, you'll see that there's a link for you to click that would allow you to get right in to our social media Saturdays private group, okay? And also I see Daryl Mohammed has just joined us. So welcome, Daryl. Thank you for joining us this morning, okay? And so I'm just gonna go ahead and get started because I know we're running just a little bit behind this morning, okay? So I wanna start off by asking the question. I've been doing this for a couple years now, and people have always asked me the question of how do I incorporate a social media strategy, or how do I make money on social media or through social media, or even how do I create a plan for social media that fits along with my marketing plan. So today we're going to take a look at traditional marketing efforts versus your interactive marketing efforts, and I'm going to explain the difference between the two. Okay, so many of us are familiar with traditional marketing efforts. Okay, hold on, I'm getting a message here. Okay, so is that better? Okay, so many of us are familiar with the traditional marketing efforts. But the thing is, with traditional marketing is one-dimensional. And what I mean by one-dimensional, you're able to only collect one type of information on your prospect, okay? So you're only able through traditional marketing to get information or demographics on your prospects, such as whether they're young or old, or you could collect information on their age, or the demographics of whether they're male or female, or even if your marketing requires for you to get information, what you're getting information on, okay? But with the face of the internet has changed the whole scope of marketing. with the internet today, there's a lot of questions, around privacy. There's no such thing as anonymity anymore, okay? It's very easy for us to find out practically any type of information that we want to know on people, okay? So as a marketer or as a business owner or an entrepreneur, how do you use that to your advantage? So today I'm going to talk a little bit about what we call interactive marketing. So interactive marketing is marketing that allows people to respond to your marketing message. So it's all about interaction, and it's more than who you know, okay, versus who's responding to you. So I know that I've seen this all the time. A lot of times we kind of get, concerned about the amount of likes that we have on Facebook or the amount of followers that we might have on Twitter. Now, it's really great for you to have a large following and build a following on social media, whether it be on LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook. Those things are great, and the numbers look great. Like when you look at a Facebook page and you see that there are, all these likes on the Facebook page. But the question becomes, of all the people that you have liking your page or following you on Twitter, how are you interacting with them? Okay, are you able to craft your marketing message in such a way that you're really able to identify what their needs are and you're responsive in your message to them? So today we're going to talk a little bit about that. Okay. So the goal of today's broadcast is to, learn a little bit more on how we could get people to interact more with us on social media. So what I'm going to start out with is the use of digital personalization. So we're going to talk a little bit about digital personalization and what that means for you as an entrepreneur. Okay? Digital personalization is all about how you're getting the attention of your prospects or getting the attention of people who are connecting with you on social media. Now, the easiest way for you to get attention of someone is to what? Use their name. Okay? So call them to attention. Let them know that you're speaking directly to them by incorporating the use of their name in your marketing messages. Okay? And there's so many different services out there that you could use that would allow you to personalize your marketing message. You could do this also through the process of automation. Okay, so once again, using the process of automation, it's a very easy, simple, and also less expensive way. There are many inexpensive ways that you could incorporate automation into your social media strategy. Okay, so there are several different ways, once again, that you could get people to respond to you through the use of social media and using digital personalization. I usually like to encourage people to first start off with finding a way to identify who your prospects are. In the sea of all the people that you speak with and that you meet, how do you know who's interested in what you offer? Okay, so what type of identifiers or what type of triggers are you offering that would allow people to say or raise their hand and say that they're interested in the products and service that you have to offer? Okay, and once you do that, you have to get them to respond. So first you have to give them something that would say, hey, I'm interested in what you have to offer, and then get them to raise their hand to let you know that they're interested in what you have to offer. And so there are several ways that people can respond to you. They could respond to you via email, which most of us are very familiar with. We're familiar with email marketing. You could also get them to respond to you via text message. So now there are also text messaging capabilities out there that will allow you to build interaction with your prospects through that mode of communication. And then there's also social media. Okay. And so, once again, how are you interacting with people on social media? Now, and I'd like to just share my story, and I have a funny story that I always like to share with people with my introduction to social media. I came onto Facebook a few years ago, and I came kicking and screaming. So it wasn't necessarily something when I heard of Facebook or I heard of social media that I thought was for me. I thought it was very invasive. I was just like, I don't need to, know all of this information, what people are doing and everything. It was of no interest to me, but I got on kicking and screaming. And then I started my business, and I started out just like any great entrepreneur will do. You start out in the field of networking. So I had a process. When I network, I had my little email template that I would use, and I would come home after I collect all my business cards, and I would sit and I would write my little emails. I would send an email to every single person that I met at a networking event. Okay? But what I realized is that people weren't responding back to me in that mode of communication. So very rarely was I receiving email communications back from the people that I met at networking events. What I realized is that they were networking through social media. So a lot of times before I even, got home, I would have received a message maybe on LinkedIn or an inbox message on Facebook. And that's how people were connecting, okay, through social media. So I had to stop and I had to pay attention to what the market was showing me, how people are responding or reacting or even using social media in the things that they do, for their business. Okay. Now, years later, and I've always started out, that started building my interest in social media. So I started to take a look at it a little bit different. And what I've found is that I really do a lot of business, on social media. A lot of business happens behind the scenes, and that's the thing that people don't see. A lot of times we think that the connections and the relationship building shows up on the front side, which would be our personal page or on a business page. But a lot of times people are reaching out to you and they're interacting through you through private messages, maybe on your inbox, okay? So it's all about incorporating a strategy and being able to meet people, where they are. Okay, so now I'm going to answer the question. So the question becomes, how do you create a revenue-centric social media campaign? So a lot of people might ask me, that's a lot of big words, Taria. What do you mean when you say revenue-centric campaign? So how are you when you are on social media, how are you connecting and how are you providing the information, number one, to your prospects, and how are you bringing your prospects into your process? Okay, so that's another question that you're going to hear me talk about. Another thing that you're going to hear me talking about is about your process. How are you getting people into your process? So the beginning part of creating a revenue-centric social media campaign, I'm going to say that you have to start off with an incentive. This is what I usually call an IFO. Okay, so I know many of you have heard of a UFO, but you've never heard of an IFO. Okay, so I'm going to share with you what an IFO is. An IFO is an irresistible free offer. Okay, so I'm going to say that again, an irresistible free offer. So that is the beginning of creating your revenue centric social media campaign, to have an irresistible free offer. Now, this concept, is not a new concept, okay, because we see it all the time, okay? We see people sharing information, and your offer doesn't have to be something physical that you're giving away. It could be in the form of digital information. So you might offer a free ebook. You might want to offer a free report, or you could even offer a free audio or a free video. Many people out there are great at doing videos, okay? So why not do a video of what it is you offer, information that you provide, things that you could use to nurture your audience and provide that, okay? Now, many of you might say, well, Taria, I'm doing that already. I have tons of videos that I do. I have tons of information that I give away on social media. I provide my tips, I give my strategies. But once again, it's all about the process. So when you give your information, okay, are you able to give your information? Are you able to give your information in such a way that you're able to capture the information on your prospects? Okay, so that's number one. How do you get your prospects in into your list? Okay, and that list could be, once again, it could be your social media, it could be your email list, or it could also be your text message list. But that's the beginning part of the process, is to be able to offer an irresistible free offer, and be able to create a list, or start building your followers, or some call it your tribe. Start building your tribe, of people who have identified that they're interested in what you have to offer. Okay, so there are 7 steps, and I'm going to share these 7 steps with you this morning on how to create your revenue centric social media campaign. The first step we talked about is the irresistible free offer. And I like to say this: when it comes to your free offer, don't be stingy. Give. Okay? Make sure you come from a place where you're always willing to provide information. You're always willing to provide value, because that's what people are looking for. They're looking for the value in what you have to offer. The second step in creating your revenue centric social media campaign is you have to make it easy for people to share your campaign. Okay, so you have to make it easy for them, number one, to participate in the campaign, because if it's too hard or too difficult or too confusing for them to do so, then they won't participate and they won't join. Second, you have to be able to make it easy for them to share it with others. Okay. Third, make sure that you have a way to measure your interaction. Okay. So this is also another thing that I find that we're not really doing a lot of. How are you measuring how people are interacting? So if you're on social media, there's several ways that you can measure how people are interacting with your campaigns. Your interaction can be measured by likes. It could be measured by the amount of comments. Once again, how people are responding to the information that you're sharing. And also, it could be measured by how many times they share it with their tribe or their friends on social media. And that's what you really want. The fourth step is tracking. are you really tracking what's happening with your campaigns? Facebook and Twitter, they offer wonderful tracking tools and wonderful insights. How many of you have ever went into your Facebook page, your business page, and actually took a look at the insights on Facebook? I remember the first time when I actually looked at the insights, I was blown away because it's detailed information of the people who are reacting to the information that you're providing. So if you're running a particular campaign, you could go right back into your insights and then you could see once again the demographics of the people who are responding to your campaigns. So you could see where they're from, you could see, all types of stuff, their likes, what they're interested in. So it's really amazing what you could find out once you start to utilize the insights, on your social media platform. Okay? The next step in creating a revenue-centric campaign is your people of influence. Okay? And I do have to say, sometimes this is the most overlooked aspect of creating a great social media campaign. People of influence. Who are the influential people in your circle? Who are the influential people in your tribe? Who who are you following? Who are they following? Okay? And are you asking them to share your information with their network? Sometimes we overlook the power of strategic partnerships. Okay? So if you know that there's someone who has your type of prospect, okay, why not, partner with them or say, hey, I have information that I could provide, to the people that you serve, and there's a benefit for both of you because now both of you become what I like to refer to as a resource. So sometimes we're not leaning heavily on our people of influence and asking them to share out our information on social media. So that's very critical, okay? And the last step in creating your revenue-centric social media campaign is the follow-up, okay? What does your follow-up process looks like? So are you following up once again via email? Does your follow-up process incorporate a phone call? Okay, are you offering consultations for the people who are reaching out to you so you could get the opportunity to learn a little bit more about them and what they do? Okay, I love the 30-minute consultations. To me, is no better way for me to get a chance to learn more about an entrepreneur or a business owner and find out what it is they do and how I could serve them. Or does your follow-up process include a text messaging strategy? Okay, so you can't overlook, okay, or forget the part of the follow-up. Okay, so I'm just going to take a break before I move in to the my next step, and I'm going to look and see if I have any questions out there in the Facebook group. Dakisha, if you are still there, do we have any questions or do we have any comments this morning? Okay, bear with me one moment. I'm just taking a look to see if I have any questions or if I have any comments out there in the group. Okay, are there any questions or comments?
So far, no questions.
Okay, so far no questions. Okay, all right. So then I'm just going to go ahead and move on to the next step. Okay, so after you have created your revenue centric social media campaign, the next step for you is how do you create your list, or how do you build your list of prospects? Okay, so you have to, once again, and I can't say this enough, you have to start creating or building your list of prospects, your list of people who have identified that they're interested in your information that you're offering, okay? And the way that you know that they're prospects is because you have given and you have given an action, and they've indicated by their action that they're interested in what you have to offer. Okay, so you have to stock your list of prospects. Okay, once again, that goes right back to the irresistible free offer. So a lot of times people think that the sale on social media, or generating revenue on social media, comes from a direct sale. I have a product, and I'm just going to go ahead and tell people this is my product, and go ahead, purchase my product, buy my product. Okay, unfortunately, it doesn't work that way. Social media has its own conversion process, and that conversion process, is a little bit longer than, once again, your other traditional marketing. So you have to find a way to pull people off of, your social media, and get them into things like where, you do your email campaign, so you could provide, once again, those additional touches. Okay, so it's all about providing value without expectation of compensation. So I'm going to say that you have to provide value without the expectation of compensation. Okay. So with that being said, I would like for each of you on this broadcast, or after you finish this broadcast, to start to think of the things that you could provide, the information that you could provide that will give value to your audience. Okay, and once again, how do you pull them in to your list? Okay. All right. So once you have decided what you're going to give as your irresistible free offer, the next step in that process is to create your campaign. And your campaign is a way for you to distribute that information on a regular and consistent basis. Okay, so you hear us say that all the time: consistency is the key, consistency is the key, consistency is the key. So, how do you continue to provide value? How do you continue to provide information to your audience without you having to feel the burden of being bogged down and chained to your computer when it comes to social media? So that was another thing, that another objection that I've heard a lot from entrepreneurs. I'm busy running my business. I don't have time to sit here all day posting on Facebook, posting on Twitter. Then I have to post to LinkedIn. Now you're telling me that there's Pinterest, and Pinterest is great for businesses. I don't have time to do all of that stuff, because after all, I'm running my business. Okay, so this is where the process of automation comes in. Okay, so what are you using that would allow you to automatically create your social media campaigns, and have your information sent out, or have your information go out across all your social media platforms, and you don't have to, feel the pressure of being bogged down or tied down to your social media to do that? Okay, so there are many different ways that you could, or tools that you could use to create your social media campaign. So it just so happens that we do have a wonderful tool that we share that would allow you to create social media campaigns. Okay, and it does a wonderful job. Even if you can't find content, and that's a big question that a lot of people have all the time. How do I continuously find the content to share with my audience on a regular and consistent basis? So find the content and have that content go out to your audience on a regular and consistent basis. Okay, so I would like to take a minute to go in and pull that up and show you what that would look like. Okay, so Dikisha, while I pull that up, please take a look in the group for me and see if there are any questions or any comments inside the group. Okay, just bear with me one moment. Dikisha, do we have any questions out there? Okay, Dikisha, if you're still there with me, okay, can you share my screen for a moment? Okay, let me know when you're locked on my screen. Okay, one moment. Okay, so I'm just going to share my screen for you. Let me know. Can you see my screen?
I see your screen.
Okay, so it's coming in clear. Okay.
You
So,
are good to go.
hmm?
You are good to go.
Oh, okay. Alrighty. Okay. So I'm just going to take a few minutes, okay, to demonstrate the software or the tool that I use to build my social media campaigns. Okay. So if you can see my screen, what you're taking a look at is our social media ignition software. Okay. So with our social media ignition software, I'm going to show you how easy and how simple it is for you to create a social media campaign that would allow you to provide value to your prospects or to your audience all across the 5 top social media platforms. Okay, so I'm actually logged in, and what you're taking a look at is the dashboard of WordPress. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and start to create a campaign and show you how easy it is to create the campaign. So what I like about the social media ignition software, one of the best features is that it gives me the opportunity to create multiple campaigns. So I could have a series of messages, and that's all a campaign is. So let me just go ahead and clarify that for you. All a campaign is just a series of posts that you have going out on a regular scheduled basis across your social media platforms. So it's very similar to an email campaign. So many of you have been familiar with an email campaign where you have emails and they're designed to go out at a certain date or a certain time to provide, once again, that value to your audience. So we're going to apply that same concept across social media. So the first thing I could do here with this is create my campaign name. Okay, and I could create a campaign that's called Double Your Revenue Through Social Media. And what this says to me is all the information that I'm going to share through this campaign is going to show people how they could create wonderful campaigns that will provide value, share information, and help them make the most out of social media. So I could create a campaign that would run across Facebook, and if you take a look at my screen, you could see it would allow me to even choose the pages that I could post to on Facebook. So many of you out there are probably managing more than one Facebook business page. Okay, so this doesn't do anything for the personal page on Facebook, but it allows you to manage your business pages. Okay, so you could create a campaign for your business page. You could also have that campaign posting to Twitter, it could post to LinkedIn, Google Plus, and you could even have that same campaign post to Pinterest. Okay, so you see how easy it is once you have a system or you have a tool in place that would allow you to manage your social media. Conversely, you could also create campaigns independently of each other. Okay, so once again, many of you know that Twitter has its own specific language. When you're posting on Twitter, your tweets consist of 140 characters or less. So you might not want to post the same campaign that you're posting on Twitter on Facebook onto Twitter, because once again, if you're over the 150 character limit, 140 character limit, then you would have an incomplete thought or incomplete post on Twitter. So I understand from Dakisha that we do have a question inside the group. Okay, Dakisha, who's asking the question?
Lataya Palmer.
Hi, Lataya. Okay, and the question is?
How do you keep up with all of the relevant social media sites?
Okay, can you repeat the question one more time for me?
How do you keep up with all of the relevant social media sites?
That's a very good question. Okay, so Latoya, I'll start off by saying this: that there are hundreds of different social media platforms out there. Okay, so the first thing I would say to you is to probably do a little bit of research and find out where your audience is. Okay, so it depends on, once again, who you are attracting. Okay, some people, the audience mainly is on LinkedIn. Other people, their audience, might be more so on Twitter than on Facebook, okay, or even Pinterest, okay. So the key is to first identify where your audience is, okay. That's number one. The second step in keeping up with all the different social media platforms, once again, is to have a way that you could manage the process or automate the process. Okay, and so that's what I'm demonstrating here with the social media ignition software. It's a very easy way for you to manage your content across the top 5 social media platforms. So if your audience is on Facebook, you have a large following, on Facebook, and you also have a following on Twitter or even LinkedIn or Pinterest, you could create what we call a campaign. And this campaign, once again, will create a series of postings or allow you to have a series of postings that go out on a regular and consistent basis. So what it's doing is it's taking away the burden of having to sit all day updating to social media. What I like to say, I don't call it a set it and forget it. I call it a set it and manage it. Okay? So once you have your campaigns and your campaigns are going out, then what you could do is just set aside, time on your schedule to just once again follow up. That's the key. Okay? To see who's interacting with your post, who's liking, who's making comments, who's sharing. Because once again, once people are interacting with your campaign, you want to make sure that you're aware of it, number one, and that you're also responding back to them, because social media, after all, is all about the interaction. It's all about building the relationship. Okay, so I'm going to show you as I go through the social media ignition software, how creating campaigns will allow you to stay interactive across top major five platforms without you having to get bogged down in the schedule to do so. Okay, so once again, you could create a campaign that would post across all of the top five social media platforms. Once again, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Google Plus, and Pinterest. And after you have selected where you want to create your campaign or where you want your campaigns to post to, you could come right here in this section and you could find content, relevant content that's out there on the internet. Okay, so the social media ignition software is connected to sources such as YouTube, Vimeo, hub pages, even news sources like Yahoo News, Amazon.com is connected to Instagram. So all you would have to do is create or find a keyword that of the content that you would like to post. Okay, can you bear with me 1 second? I'm having a question. One moment. Hello? Oh, why? Oh, why? Okay. Oh, was going fine? Okay. I just got a message that my screen is frozen. So if you could hear me, bear with me 1 moment. Hold on 1 second. Okay, one second. Okay, let me see. Hold on 1 second. Let me see if it's like that for everybody.
Mic check, mic check.
Okay, mic check. Can you hear me? Okay, bear with me 1 moment. If you can hear me, I'm getting reports of a little bit of technical difficulties, so bear with me 1 moment. Okay, let me know if you could still hear me.